never did. Hello.
Sorry, a little bit late.
Get ready for the celebration. Hello, darkness, my old friend. And I'm all kitted out, so I'm going to be right underneath it. You don't have to worry. I got my glasses. I've got my bag, which says, chasing the thing. And it was made for another lady, but they put the wrong name on it. So they gave it to me. And I've got my fan magazine. And after all that's done, so I can record it, and I'm going to figure out a way to record it and show it on the channel. I found a lens to put on my phone so that I can video it.
It's awesome.
So I feel like a kid on the day before Christmas, you know. It's coming, it's coming, it's coming.
Christine will be near from Niagara in the total zone. She can't wait.
That's right. I hope they were saying you guys might be cloudy, but I have a friend who, everybody has that friend, right? And you love them to death, but they really are the pain in the ass you don't really need to talk to. And I was talking to him and he goes, you know, it's supposed to rain. And I said, shut your mouth. I don't hear that. And I've been watching it for a week and it's going to rain that night, but it's not going to rain. That makes a difference. So I go out and soak up the new gateway opening.
Everyone's talking about your beautiful cookies.
Yes, my Oreo cookie. I found that yesterday and I just fell apart on the floor laughing. And I said, I'm saving that one and putting it up.
Sweet. Rumor has it again that the rapture will happen tomorrow. Pray they'll take Trump with them.
Well, for the people who really believe in the rapture, as far as I'm concerned, most of the ones I've known that do that, they can go wherever they want. Because after they start talking about that stuff, I leave anyway. So.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure all this apocalyptic stuff has happened before, and nothing has happened.
Oh no, I'm in my magazine, and I can pull out the part. There's a whole thing on events that happened, and there was when the Indians were going to unify to try and fight the white man. Tecumseh, and he pulled them all together, and they're all kind of, well, we don't know if we can beat him or not, and that while they were in the discussion, there was a total eclipse, and Tecumseh says, the great father has spoken, you know, he's telling us on Mother Earth we must fight this. So that's how I got that tribal alliance. It was an eclipse.
Yeah, I seen posts about, you know, the earthquake was pretty close to Deadminster, and
yes. And we all were wondering if it was going to lift her coffin up. God's will.
The three, but yeah, interesting. But, okay, I was just going through comments.
Yes, Scott's got to pick out what we're going to talk about.
So far, only three, but no problem.
Yes. Y'all really don't want to listen to me talk about this all day.
Will the eclipse help politics go our way?
The eclipse, this one, because it's next to Chiron, and I was just joking about this with Scott, but Chiron is one of the subplanets, one of the little ones that comes out of the Kuiper. It's a Kuiper belt object, and he's the wounded healer, and he brings to light the things that sometimes you're not even aware of, but it's supposed to bring to light things that need to be cleaned up or straightened out. So I would think if you take it from that perspective, it would help. But the best thing we can all do is to vote and take 10 friends to the polls to vote blue. and fight like the people in Wisconsin did to get decent districting.
Yeah, that worked, but unfortunately, the GOP, it isn't a huge deal, but the GOP won the two referendums we had last Tuesday.
That's because they were worried. I told you, I had friends who worked for law firms, and they would literally sit down and try to figure out the most confusing way if they wanted to screw it up so people didn't know whether they were voting yes or no. They can make yes look like a no and no look like a yes. And
Yeah, no.
if you really have a referendum in your area, go to the League of Women Voters. They really tear them apart word for word, and they match it against the laws in your area. They're really incredible at that. And they'll make, if you read their definition, that's going to be about as good as you can get.
P. Diddy bring down the Hollywood elite.
Yeah, they raided him. It's for sex trafficking and a bunch of stuff. That's allegedly what they went in there for entertainment purposes only. Yeah, he's going to take a bunch down with him.
What I read something yesterday is mainly for his son.
Well, whether it's his son or him, they were all around the same people.
I guess need a better word than bring down. Everyone uses bring down. Well,
how about expose and then let you make your own mind up whether you're going to.
Yeah, we want justice. We don't. Yeah, it's just a random term of bringing down.
Well, I understand what she means. It just means make sure that they are seen in the proper light.
Yeah, I guess Alex Jones was in Hawaii living it up, and he hasn't made a payment yet.
I heard a lawyer talking about what's going on with that, and they weren't. This is why Trump is so screwed about collecting his debts. He had people sitting on his assets for 4 years, 4 or 5 years, looking at them, knowing where absolutely everything is. Problem with Alex Jones is finding it all. But as far as I'm concerned, if they present him with a thing, then they ought to be able to do whatever else legally they can do. I mean, he owns a bunch of property near me in the mid cities.
Yeah, I would say it's going to have to take more legal work.
Mm-hmm.
We would make a Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, not supporting Biden.
Too many steroids?
No, I read a lot of different things as far as reading.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't really worry too much about it.
Mm-hmm.
But one said it had to do with some kind of contract with the WWE. And then another I read, which makes sense. He got a lot of threats, and his family did, for supporting Biden last time. So it had a lot to do with the death threats from MAGA. So he's kind of staying neutral.
What I would like them to do is go get one of those people that does that to some of these people, and then make them have to look over their shoulder twice before they start doing that crap.
So I don't really sense it. He's MAGA.
I don't think he's MAGA.
Blowing crazy. I think it's just about his life in general. He wants to be Switzerland and not get all these death threats. Like, he's not a judge.
Mm-mm.
Or anything like that.
Maybe we shouldn't look to Hollywood figures that have a certain look and can speak a certain way to be the epitome of knowledge. Maybe we ought to look at people who really know what they're talking about too. I mean, not to say that he doesn't. Yeah. Teresa Ford, why do we care what famous people think anyway? He's a total stranger. And trust me, I've been around some Hollywood types that really, when I used to run the film festival, they talked about how they really didn't like that role because, they're just another person looking at it. Oh, Carol, I couldn't agree more. Do you want to throw cards on that? Since this is supposed to be tarot, Scott and I chewing the fat.
Well, I mean, we have our intuitive thoughts too, but cards are more of
Crutch.
a confirmation of our intuitive feelings. And somewhat of proof, I guess.
Mm.
The Trump's attorneys started getting reprimands, such as trying to fire all above for the delay.
Yeah, they're going to get something. It's coming. The courts have been overly patient with them, trying to figure out what to do, but they're kind of at their wits' end. The Ten of Wands remembers when you said, okay, enough's enough, and throw it down. But they're not sure exactly how to, should it be fines? Should it be, they've been known to put attorneys in jail for doing things wrong. So they're waiting, they're hanging there. But I think that there's going to be one of the judges that's going to make moves in a good light, but it's not immediately because that's a yes and a no.
A lot in my mind, I'm feeling is like some of this is legal jargon and the process. It's like it's got to be whether it's frivolous stuff and whatnot. Most of it gets thrown out, but if they keep bringing back stuff, I mean, we've seen it. The courts throw out frivolous stuff and they bring it back, and then they sanction
throw it out again. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a death card. 4 of coins, Knight of Cups, and the death. So it's basically when you put out frivolous stuff, there will be an ending to it. And then I have a devil in the end. The Fool, Queen of Pentacles, the Devil, and 2 of Cups. So when you do something wrong, you get fined and censured. But so the question was, will they start? I guess it's just the way the system goes. It's if it's frivolous, you get fined and sanctioned. It's just all I'm seeing. It's just a delay tactic. It's all this delay tactic to hopefully get their client out of their issues. It's an attorneying, and he's using the funds because he's got it to do whatever he can to delay. But April 15th is coming. Anyway.
And not for the reason we've all dreaded it.
Right. Speaking of that, I gotta finally do my taxes today. I finally just doing it.
I gotta print off my bank statements so I can balance out of them.
But yeah, start. Yeah, it depends if it's illegal, and we've seen it happen where they get sanctioned, and from January 6th, they're finally getting to disbarring Clark and Eastman. See how long that takes. But as far as these trials, it's technically not frivolous until we've seen, which case was it? There was legal filings, whatever, but only Todd Blanche signed it. The rest of Trump's attorneys did not sign it.
That's the one about searching for all the documents.
So yeah, it's pretty strange. So Todd Blanche could be in trouble. There's other prosecutors, ex-prosecutors did not.
Even the woman that was the attorney for parking garages didn't sign it. She put a little phrase in that gave her way out. Was that Alina Habba?
Yeah, the one that should be sanctioned.
The one who said she'd rather look good than be smart.
You're right. How pissed is Jen Engoron with Trump? What does that mean, sweet darling? He has a hearing the 22nd about the bond
Right.
having issues here.
Well, how can Engoron be pissed? It's the court above him that reduced the amount that he had to pay at one time. And so, and that's one of those things. I grew up in a medical family, but I have an older brother who's an attorney. And then I ran a lot of campaigns were with and around attorneys. And they're a fraternity. I mean, even when they stand on opposite sides of the issues, there's not many of them. They all try to treat themselves like the brotherhood or the sisterhood of law, and they can have their opinion and how they would rather see things, but at the end of the day, they give each other deference that I don't like to give them. But I'm not part of the fraternity or sorority, so, and I didn't join one in college either. That makes me angry. There's not too many of the attorneys that you see on there, except Andrew Weissman and stuff. And he said, look, these are the rules we all played with for years. Why are these guys not playing with them? And that's how the justice system breaks down, when it's not justice for all. So I don't think he's pissed at him. I think he just realizes the guy broke the law and this is what he ought to do. And I've written it out as plainly as I can. If he's pissed at anybody, it ought to be the mainstream media for underplaying how really out of line his behavior was.
Right.
It's not every real estate mogul in New York played games. Yeah, they all play games.
Yeah,
but
he just feels like a professional.
Mm-hmm.
The threats and everything are scary and protective, but pissed. I don't think so. It just feels like justice. Maybe towards his lawyers, because they could control his ass more.
No, that's what I think. They don't say, why don't you do this? And the next jail cell downstairs is open for you if you can't control your client. That is a lever the courts have to control things.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Karen has something about it. Yeah, there you go, Karen. Yeah, it looks like Todd Blanche is setting himself up to ruin his career. Because the smart ones didn't sign on to that latest filing or whatever it was. Oh, okay.
Judge Cannon, yeah, I'll throw cards on Cannon.
Oh, yeah. So it's looking more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Head to head. What's Cannon gonna happen here? Let's check. He's playing with fire.
Mm-hmm.
Because it doesn't look proper.
Mm-hmm.
Playing fire with a career to protect 45. No one in that position, being a prosecutor, judge, whatever, getting that is that stupid. She's got to be protecting him in some ways. So, prediction about Cannon.
Not good.
Either being removed or stepping down, recused, whatever. Okay.
What I got is
Future of Cannon. Future of Eileen.
She's definitely sailing against the wind. She's doing it because of people she trusts and she believes they're telling her the truth. She won't step down. She'll have to be thrown out. But it's going to come to a completion. where everybody's going to see what's been going on, and she's not going to get her goal. So that's I was asking, is it going to go well for her? And that's a no. And it's pretty close because when you have the world and the star together, timing's really close.
So I got King of Cups, Page of Cups, Five of Coins in the past position, kind of here. So there is an oh crap moment coming, and this is in the past. So the protection, a leap. So there's a King of Cups in the past. So some kind of leader, someone behind her made her an offer, and it's coming to an head. You know, there's problems coming. Five of kind of substance problems, struggles. And then I got moving forward here, a tower coming with what she's created with the magician and walking away with the Eight of Cups. So there's a failure coming up shortly, and it all has to do with what she's done in the past.
They're going to find a link to the Federalist Society and what they told her to do.
Yeah, there's some kind of power above her, some kind of protection with that King of Cups. But yeah, it's going to end in failure. So one way or another, she's going to have to walk away with that Eight of Cups. It has to do with what she's done in the past with the Six of Cups. Ace of Wands would be what she's done, her energy, her plans, and power. Ace of Cups, abundance over shadows and winds. And these are summer cards.
Yeah, well, it's not going to happen till the summer. If he pushes it, it won't happen till summer.
Yeah. So yeah, she'll be removed in one way or another and have to walk away. These cards don't tell me if it's removal or refusal, but
she's not going to. My card showed she was not going to walk away. She would not vacate the bench, even unless her Lord and Masters at the Federalist Society told her to. And those guys are in enough problems themselves. So
yeah, I would say with the magician, it's someone above her. So I would say she gets removed.
Well, that's the 11th Circuit.
Yeah. I would say she gets removed rather than recused, according to these cards.
Well, I presume, Clarence Thomas is the Supreme Court Justice over that section.
Over that section, yeah.
And I presume if things start getting really hot, he'd rather throw her under the bus than dear Jenny. So,
well, that would be an appeal above. Meaning
he runs those courts. Trust me. If Clarence calls you and you work in those courts, you listen to his phone call. Even if you may not act on it, you're going to hear it. And I think he's going to try and make her the sacrificial lamb if they're going to start sacrificing little foot soldiers that were helping Trump.
I don't know how that works, but you think like if there's an appeal to their section, they have a say, even though before it comes to them?
Oh no, he doesn't legitimately have a say, and he's supposed to keep his little sticky fingers out of it.
Right.
Does Clarence strike you as the sort that ever kept his sticky fingers out of anything?
I suppose.
I mean, I know how
very true. Very true. I'm just trying to rationalize what's going on here.
Well, has anything rational happened since 2016? Scott, you're bewildering me.
True. Okay. I'm looking again. Bobo.
Did she have a blood clot?
Yeah, she went to the hospital, supposedly had a blood clot. Found out she's got some kind of clotting disease or something.
Oh, yeah.
Good for her for having taxpayer-funded healthcare.
Mm-hmm. You mean I'm going to take this? Did Bobo see the light while she was in a life-threatening situation? I'll throw that one.
Oh, did her health scare have her see the light of anything?
Yeah, that's how I read that. You can read it any way you want.
I think since she's kind of an extraterrestrial, I'm gonna grab my oracle deck.
Why not?
She's kind of reptilian, right?
Mm-hmm. Don't insult the reptilians that way.
Some are bad, some are good.
Holy shit, she did.
Yeah, I got to transition to the higher dimension.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there was some kind of awakening here.
Yeah, made her want to move on from some of the things that have been going on around her. It's not finished yet. She's still fighting it, like she's still a petulant child. But it's going to eventually make her a better human being. The thing is, she sort of knew this could happen. It happened to other, and now she understands what it was. She waited on it and didn't deal with some of the symptoms she could have earlier. But what I got was, did she see the light? Absolutely, yes. And in part because of this card being back there, this means being prepared and being watchful.
Mm-hmm.
There's something in her family history where people just sort of fell over dead.
Oh, wow.
And now she knows what it was that caused it. And
yeah,
it's going to take a while. She's transitioning. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah, it scared her. Yeah, all my cards in the top of the deck are all good cards. Learning, opening your mind, learning. So yeah, I think it scared her that, now I could die. Now I'm not.
Yeah, when you get a real life scare like that, it really does sort of focus your sense of mortality.
But will it change her as a human being in the Republicans?
I think
probably not.
No, as far as her being a transactional person out there hustling for her own deal, probably not. But I think in the long term, it's going to change her drive, her sense of drive. What she's driven to go do will change. Does that make sense?
Does she still want to stay in the House of GOP and win? Of course she does. Yeah. You want to look at her politically, or just wait?
Will she be in Congress next year?
Let's check that out. Current energy, anyway. Because what they said before, she was like 5th in a poll of all the people, and now they're polls saying she's leading now.
Well, who's taking the poll and who's running it?
No, polls
have we not all figured out yet that all polls are not created equal?
All polls are not created equal. That could be true, Ian. Her ex-husband could have been nasty to her. But, we have our choices in life, and she didn't choose it.
I'm got that she's not going to be there. I got 3 no's right in the middle.
Oh, I got conflict
next year. She's still her same little muddy grubbing self, but it's going to lead her to a brand new life, Scott.
Confusing. I don't know. Moving forward, I have her having a victory. In the end, though, I have something happens. It's like she might win, but she's not going to stay.
I don't even show her winning. I just show her just not being there. Now that also could be because she was up to her eyeballs in January 6th. So
yeah, I mean, this is just moving forward. This isn't an outcome, but I have positive news in the current moving forward. But in the end, I have a magician helping with a disaster or a nightmare, and then there's a restriction or being locked up.
Mm-hmm.
So moving forward in the current energy is pretty good for her.
Mm-hmm.
But the ending is pretty bad. So it's difficult to say in my senses here, but her ending is not good. Not good at all. So like magician could be something with J6, or it could be a Jack Smith energy, or legal system as a whole. And then we have a disaster failure with the 9-10 of swords, and then we have being in prison, isolated, locked up, or something with the 8 of swords.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's not going to be good in the end, but a current energy is not too bad. So if we're going by end result, that's not winning. Maybe she's winning the hearts and minds of this current energy, but November is still quite a ways away. 7 months.
It's like 212 days, I think, from now.
Well, don't they have is she still on the primary?
Now she'll be, yeah, Colorado hasn't had its primary yet. I don't think. If you're in Colorado and let me know.
We talked about it last week a little, and it was all confusing, but
after they stuck that guy in that slot, so they didn't have to have 2 primaries.
Yeah, they still got to have 1 primary. And I thought
they still have to have 1 primary, and she can run for that one and still stay in the House. But the other one, she could not be sitting in a primary seat and running, because in that one she would have gotten it, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, so last we heard, she's still got 4 people to run against in the primary. Okay. The Rock is on the board of WWE McMahon. Vince has got charged with, or whatever, with sexual abuse or lawsuit, something. So yeah, good company.
Mm-hmm.
They're corrupt. Okay. What's in store for the annoying Charlie Kirk? He's a right-wing podcaster.
Oh, okay. I don't know who he is, so this will be a really good one.
I think he's the guy in charge of some right-wing organization for younger people or something.
Is he the one that I heard of? I didn't catch who it was, but it was some young right-winger ranting on how the world had been ruined because women were told to go to school and get educations and take care of themselves.
It's probably him. And
that and he said, now they're all old and ugly, and who'd want to sleep with them? Well, I'm like, who'd want to sleep with you, jerk?
Yeah, on my phone here, Karen I had the chat stopped on my laptop.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie Kirk is deeply offensive. Turning Point USA tells women to get married early, just have kids, not go to college.
Have you heard what's happened in Korea? They had this 4B movement, which was each of the B's was a point of feminism coming to the fore. And now so many women in Korea don't get married that they're virtually in some parts of Korea having to close kindergarten and first grade because there's no children to put in them.
Wow.
And they said if this trend continues, that they'll have to import their entire workforce because they're raising no one to do the jobs. I mean, it's that bad. And I asked my daughter, is it really that bad? And she said, yeah. She's been following it because she went to an all-women's university, and they have a very different attitude about marriage and all that stuff. And
well, that's happening in a lot of places.
Mm-hmm.
Women aren't having children. Well, I don't know if you've seen the stat, but there were supposedly like 87,000 abortions in Florida last year.
Mm-hmm.
Now in a few weeks, the 6-week abortion ban is supposed to go into effect. Obviously, women do not want to have or people in general don't want to have as many children.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had 2. My parents had 5.
Mm-hmm.
You know, before that, my grandparents, I remember seeing pictures. Every one of them had like 7, 8 kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it isn't the way anymore. So we need immigrants.
Yeah, but you needed kids on your farms.
Right. All the Midwest farms and Switzerland and whatnot. We needed more children to farm away, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Charlie Kirk. Like Lois said, it is too expensive to have a whole bunch of children. Patty says Fuentes needs an exorcism. Yeah, I mean, all those right wingers are in the same mold. Tim Pool, same.
I
Dude,
can't tell you much about Charlie Kirk because I've never listened to much of what he says. He really hated his mother.
it could be.
And as a consequence, he's right now, though, he's kind of holding back. I know if you listen to him, you probably don't think he is, but he's got a decision to make and he's going to try and make it, but he's trying to figure out how to position himself if the world shifts. He can see where Trump won't win. And then where does he go? But he really he's not in favor of women who take action, very plainly, or else that's who he really is and he doesn't want anyone to know.
Funny, I got the Queen of Swords also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think he liked his childhood either.
Mm-hmm.
His mom, dad, him in the middle. His childhood memories made him who he is. So, the 6 of Swords, looking for better times. Some danger ahead. He has to evaluate life, and then there's a lot of burdens coming up for him.
Mm-hmm.
Exhausted, 10 of Swords. In the end, he might change. He might have to change.
No, that's what I saw is he realizes this thing we're playing isn't going to hold.
Because I have the future of an Empress star, my Duchess. It's about having abundance and actually feminine energy.
Mm-hmm.
Knight of Wands is changing your actions. And then the Moon. The Moon is kind of could be some depressional, deep, dark thoughts, but it causes a change for the better eventually. Yeah, moving forward, it doesn't look too good in the next, timing. Who knows? This could be after the fall of. Once MAGA goes,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be hard to rage. He'll try to find his talking points again, but eventually, I don't think it works out for him.
Yeah, and may I put a word of warning out to our light-seeking friends? When they fall, do not stand over them and dance on their graves. That's not important to help us move forward. We need to realize, that's basically what they did. They won by a little, and they took it like they had yards, and they've ended up hurting and alienating everyone. So when they fall, not if they fall, but when they fall, and we consider they consider it a fall. We just consider it come down to earth with the rest of us. But when they're gone, it's going to be really hard to not want to go nana nana moo moo. But we're going to have to.
Yeah. But it should be more of a relief. Like, oh, thank God, this divisiveness is going to be ending. We can relax, chill, and love each other instead of be so divisive.
You'd think so.
Oh. Oh.
What?
I'm just seeing Ian's comments. Charlie Kirk has a forehead like a ski slope.
Okay.
Poor Cecilia. Tax returns. I don't want it. Paid the accountant $250 and refunded $25. That
Yeah, but you deduct your accountant's fees from your filing, from what you file. So
yeah. Well, I do it. I do mine online. Yeah. It ain't.
and if the Republicans hadn't screwed with that thing, we'd have like TurboTax that was a national thing, and it would figure it out for us. That's one of the things they got rid of, and they said you're getting rid of the agents, so they're not coming to get your money. No, you're getting rid of the thing that could help you find your money. What a bunch of dummies.
Yeah, I used e-file last few years, and I think the most I paid there was $78.
Yeah.
Last year I got a half off discount for some reason. It was only like $35 to e-file.
Oh, what fun. I have to use TurboTax because I have a LLC.
No, I don't.
If I could get rid of it without having to pay a bunch of fines to get out of it, I'd get rid of it. But
There you go.
I used to be an accountant, and I'm very good at managing to get all the columns back to zero. So
and checking comments. I think we already talked about that a little bit. Is it now the time to go to 11th Circuit? There's a few more rulings, it feels like. But yeah, I think it feels like Jack's gonna, file a motion or something again after, because she's got so many secret dockets going on, it kind of delays things. And
well, she does these. They're not written documents; they're statements from the bench, and those are much harder to work with to catch her.
Yeah, eventually, once it feels like they're gonna put out something. I know, like some of our favorites online, like Joyce Vance and Armor Quaid and Weissman and all that. We talked about a motion in limine. Asking, and if she denies that, then they'll seek recusal and so.
But their recusal, they got it really. I mean, they got her reversed really fast on that Masters thing that she did. That's the first screw up she did. And I think if they're gonna want to move so they can move fast, because they'd like to have most of this trial, because apparently the trial won't be all that long once it gets going.
Okay, we just. Oh, don't do that. What's the future of the Federalist Society?
Okay. Trying to make that into a yes/no.
What's the future of the Federalist Society? What's the future? That's right, Pegasus. Justice moves like a sloth.
Well, I got the Federalist Society's got some problems, more than what we perceive. This is a negative downturn towards their message. This is them not having made the right plans. They've got a whole lot of information flowing towards them they're not sure what to do with. And they're so used to dissembling and lying that that's what they think they're going to go on with, none of which is good, but that someone new is going to have to come in, or they're going to have to make a complete change of direction if they want to continue to exist. But I think their heyday is done. I think their day of, well, we know when Trump was in there, they wrote the list of judges he looked at. So
I got nothing bad as far as being disbanded or anything justice wise coming to them. You know, they're a society. I get the high priestess, Ace of Cups, and Queen of Wands with them in a current moving forward position. So that's like the society will exist, the creative, and do what they want to do. My ending is Knight of Cups, Knight of Pentacles, the World, and Three of Wands. It's seeking help from afar.
Yeah, those two knights would be a real change from their basic premise of existing, too.
Yeah, they are change. It is a change, but it's continuing to function, expanding where they are with the world. You know, so it's going to continue.
Oh, I think it's going to continue in some form, but the autocratic Leo Leonard, yeah, or I can't stand it when people have two first names.
Right.
But I don't see it going well for them in the near future. I think there's going to be a lot of looking at what's going on inside, and
yeah, that's, I don't know. When you're looking at a future of a whole organization, it's kind of tough to get to the heart center where you want to look at. So maybe a more direct question would be easier. Like, will they disband or, you know, something like that? But I'm not really seeing it. Okay. Looking. I'm like 20 minutes behind on my laptop here.
Yeah.
We're
getting, okay. The one thing that there is about the solar eclipses, solar eclipses have been linked to changes in leadership, rapid changes in leadership in governments historically. And there's a lot of the astrologers who say they see when they look at individual charts of world leaders that there's going to be some changes. So the names that have been up, of course, are Putin, which everyone wants gone, if you're where we are, and Netanyahu. So, Adam Frisch. Will he win the district? Boebert's in there.
Now that Bobo is not there. Adam Frisch winning that seat. District 3, I think it is. Probably one of the only few districts I know because we hear about it so much. District 3, Adam Frisch. Priestess. Patience, Justice, King of Wands. God.
That doesn't sound good, Scott.
What? You know, it's not like a boom answer. It's like, oh yeah, it's still a divided district. What this is showing. Two of Wands is kind of like seeking assistance. King of Swords and Temperance. Temperance is patience.
Mm-hmm.
King of Swords is standing with the power. My final result is Magician.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to master of everything. Seven of Cups, illusion, delusion. King of Wands, another mastery card of taking the energy and making it work. And then Justice, a fair outcome. So those aren't cards of saying, boom, I got this.
Yeah, see, you like them better than my cards. I've got the Knight of Wands reversed, the Sun reversed. This was asking if he'd win. The High Priestess reversed. The Chariot's upright, yay! But the Magician's reversed. The Republicans are pouring so much money and doing so much to get that place back. It's up to the people who live there. They elected her too.
Yeah, I mean, he did come close, but
that's when he had her to shoot against. I don't know who. I'm going to ask it the other way because it may just be things have not been decided enough.
It could be the Magician, Seven of Cups. It could be the outside forces thinking illusions about him and the Democrats or something. Yeah. Anyone know who's running against Adam this round?
Nope.
Or there could be
an independent. I don't think so.
Or not an independent, but a primary in that one yet.
Oh my God! Will a Republican win in that district? And it says no. It says it doesn't even get the Chariot right side up. It's all no's. So I think what we have to say about this one, Carol, is they're not. It's not solid enough for the universe to be able to say because it doesn't know who all of the people running are. I know we think everything's all plotted out, but really there are things that happen, like people vote.
Yeah. So there's a primary June 25th. Adam Schiff is Frisch is the only one on there. And
who are the Republicans running then if she's pulled?
The other two, it says the other two dropped out. Why is it only giving, it's some reason it's only getting me Democrats.
Because you're in the Democratic Party.
Well, I just searched who's there and it only gave me Democrat. I wanted, I don't know. Anyone got it? No.
I'm looking up Ballotpedia, Colorado.
Who's running? Oh yeah, Ballotpedia only gave me maybe this one. I'm trying to find it. Quick. Candidates.
The next, offices on the ballot. State House.
I don't know. They got like 5 or 6 shown. Mark Ellsworth, Gary.
Bunch of libertarians.
Oh, a bunch of libertarians there.
Against Adam Frisch. He's got people independents. That's what's going to be on the general election ballot. There's 3 libertarians, 1 guy who's from the Unity Party of Colorado, and 2 independents. They're all guys.
It's probably best to wait till July until we know who's who they running against. But the current energies are going to be a lot of misinformation.
And there's 2 withdrawn.
2 withdrawn Democrats. So
No Republicans.
Oh, Republicans did withdraw. I mean, he's in the race. It looks good for him, but there's a lot of Not to go on yet.
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
And that may be that Independence and that other guy, they're all from different parties. So there's like 5 guys running against him and no Republicans. So it depends who the Republicans decide to put themselves behind.
Okay. Yeah, it's the Middle East is heating up again. Jesus.
I know.
With Hezbollah and Israel is fighting, sending bombs that way, and God, why can't we get along, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just and Biden's getting bashlack for nothing beyond his control because of
Mm-hmm.
Bibi.
They pulled a lot of Israeli forces out of southern Gaza today.
Good news.
Mm-hmm.
Good news. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Iran, I retaliate. My guys really say no. It's more of these groups, not Iran government as a whole. Whatever evil group is going on in Iran, maybe controlled by Iran, but
Mm-hmm.
it feels more like a group, like a Hezbollah or whatever their names are. There's so many.
Mm. I know they don't have the power to do it. So
Iran doesn't have power. Wow.
well, Iran would if Iran was doing it, but Iran doesn't want to get in another war. And it's trying to quietly behind the scenes build some sort of a way to avoid that. That's 2 of wands. Now, currently what's going on, this is a King of Swords upside down. They don't have the strength to do it, and they don't have the power of a nation to do it. So I think the people who would like to retaliate are not in the levers of power.
Interesting. But yeah, in the end, I get my Hierophant card, my
Mm-hmm.
card, so probably Iran.
Mm-hmm.
Evaluating this situation, there could be caution, problems ahead, the government, and then 5 of wands is obstacles. Lack of energy, arguments about it, conflicts. So that says no, they're not going to get involved because it could be problems. Before that, I had the Chariot, universal love, and some kind of other military action.
Mm-hmm.
So that would feel more like Iran as a whole staying out of it, but there is a sublet. The page is smaller, it could be new,
Mm-hmm.
So there could be some kind of retaliation, but it doesn't feel like it's the government as a whole. Some reason in the past year I'm getting like I thought they'd have some kind of victory. Whoever, I don't remember who was fighting. I think it was a group that actually did something to Israel and they hit back hard or something like that, right?
Right.
Like that. So I thought they would have this group or whatever thought they'd have a great victory by doing this, but it's not turning out the way they hoped. So the Page of Swords feels like a small strike back, nothing major. So let's hope anyway. But you hear about these conflicts constantly, daily. If you look it up, with Syria and all these groups fighting each other, throwing bombs and missiles at each other.
And now we have Mexico and Ecuador fighting.
What are they doing?
Well, the president of Ecuador, who's been twice convicted of corruption, went and hid in the Mexican embassy in Ecuador. Yeah. And so, anyway, last night, the Mexican army, the Ecuadorian army invaded and went in and found him and dragged him out to put him in jail.
Wow.
And so that breaks that whole thing of an embassy, that's the land of Mexico, and even though the place is anyway. So the Mexicans are this morning evacuating all their people out of Ecuador, and they're closing all connections with them.
People. Joe G mentions, yeah. I listen to the Talking Feds podcast. I do like Harry Littman. He's very logical.
Mm-hmm.
Not, he's been around a long time. And then the Legal AF part of Midas Touch is good too.
Mm-hmm.
Karen and the other name, Michael Popak.
Mm-hmm.
Two are very good. I like listening to them. Actually, I remember we did read on Len Lario. He's going to be having troubles.
Yeah, Leonard's already got troubles. Sheldon Whitehouse got on his case, and they're looking into his finances. So he's.
The Federalist Society feels like it's going to continue to flow and do their thing, but
Well, it was there before Leonard Leo took it over and turned it into the power broker.
There you go. Yeah. But yeah, we already read on Leonard probably the last 2 times, I think I remember. Yeah, he's going to be going through some things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Andrew Weissman is also very good.
Andrew's good. Joyce Vance. And I said her name before. Barb McQuaid. Yeah, she just wrote a book on the misinformation.
Mm-hmm.
Patty wants us to look at Matt Gaetz again.
Must we?
Let's just ask about.
I don't mind looking at Matt. I think he's irrelevant. What I want to know is is the DOJ really going after like Biggs? I mean, because they're getting the information out of the state. Because apparently our Department of Justice can't ask people questions. But
okay, I didn't have that. I remember seeing a question about that.
About which?
Biggs and them.
It's Biggs and the other guy, and they've been subpoenaed in Colorado, and will they?
Or for Arizona.
Is it Arizona? Okay.
Yeah.
It's Gosart. It's Gosart. The wacky one. The one whose eyes always look like you're looking in 7-year-old.
Gosart and Biggs are subpoenaed for the Arizona fake electors. They expect doing that. They expect indictments.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many good ones. Len Kirshner, Frank Perclusi's good. Andrew McCabe and Mueller, she wrote, good. A whole bunch.
If you like politics and fart jokes, Stephanie Miller's okay.
Okay. So what are we going to look at?
Matt Gaetz. I got Matt Gaetz's.
Okay. I want to look at what I'm going to ask is Matt Gaetz and the Ethics Committee.
Okay.
And see that.
I've got is Matt Gaetz will not be in Congress next year.
Good. I don't think Rebecca Jones is running against Gaetz again. I think there's another person. Rebecca's been having a heck of a time. Lawsuits and protecting her son from all the MAGA. But anyway, Matt Gaetz in this. God, the evidence is there, but it feels like they're going to drag their feet on it. conflicts in the House. Well, kind of. I pretty much got the same cards as Boebert or whoever we read on when I got the Eight of Swords. I can't remember now. Yeah, Matt's going to have a tough October. So yeah, the moon is my October card. But yeah, he's going to be having some restrictions. Going to be isolated. So I got my prison card. But the Eight of Swords.
Matt Gates still has a runoff.
Someone's running against him?
Yeah, Brandon Herrera, a Polygon social media influencer. He's forced Matt Gates into a runoff. And it doesn't say who the Democratic candidate is. And it talks all about how all this has been brought about by power brokers in the ethics committee.
I mean, the evidence is there in the ethics committee. So it doesn't feel like immediate kind of, there's delays on actually enforcing this and coming out, but it's still going. But yeah, I don't think he's going to be having issues at some point. When, I don't know. I wish timing was perfect. But yeah, he's going to be going through some things. He could be locked up, or he's going to be restricted from being in Congress. Something. But yeah, the slow walking.
Kirk's only 41 years old.
I know it, right? But yeah, I got a lot of coins here in the ethics committee going on, but it's a slow walking coin. So they had the information, but the Republicans in there seem to be slow walking it. Well, heck, they're going on vacation every 2 weeks, aren't they? So how can they do any work? But yeah, he's guilty. Something's coming up for him.
When you put on in there who is the Democratic opponent to Matt Gates, it takes you all the way back to McCarthy, and that's who his opponents are. It doesn't say anything about Democrats. So, oh please, God! Then I'm never ever going to be able to turn my TV on again. Both those on the same screen.
Ted Cruz being the okay. Okay. Yeah. This was interesting. This is interesting.
Yes.
So April 22nd is the hearing. The bond people don't appear to have enough money.
Well, they're not licensed in New York.
They're not licensed in New York. So, and I think it was last week, we didn't even think he was going to get the bond, but then they came up with this. So like, oh crap, he is going to get the bond, but now he may not be getting the bond. So, oh, is he getting the bond?
We're all going to have to start doing jigsaw puzzles or something to fill the time once all this is over, you know?
So Aaron, the 22nd's got the hearing about this bond issue. Is the Mr. Hanky or whatever going to rescind this offer or can't get it done?
I can't believe Trump's going to take bond from some man who's like 80 years old. Isn't that too old to make those sorts of decisions, according to their...
Yes, Rose Blue. Mr. Hanky was on South Park. Russian compromise everywhere. Oh my gosh. The bond hearing, 22nd.
It's going to work and it's not going to work.
That kind of answer sucks.
I know. I
Like,
hate it.
come
And I
on.
know when people come for a reading and you go, well, it could be this, it could be that, and they don't understand. It's just not set. See?
I got death of money.
I end up with what do you got?
Well, I mean, this is the energy I'm supposed to look at with my read.
Mm-hmm.
The finances has an ending.
Mm-hmm.
Death of money. I would assume it's going to fall through.
Yeah, I kind of get that it's going to fall through because it's, at the end of mine is the fool and then mentally stuck.
um,
It's
in the
not,
end,
it's going to be ugly. It's not going to be a party. It's not going to be funny. And the judges are going to have to fight to get everybody to understand what's going on here. The first thing I laid on it was that whoever helped them put this through has been the magician behind the scenes running a lot of Trump stuff. It's not Trump, but some other financier has. And he's still going to try to provide. I hope they find out whoever this person is, because he's the chief of reciprocity. He's used to getting back what he gets for, and he's doing this all for his own future plans. But he's also basically, I feel, a no. He's trying to do it, but right now it's not going to happen. It's the current environment. It's not going to happen. They can't move things fast enough to make it work.
yeah, that could be too. That to get, licensed in New York and all this other stuff required. Because I have an emperor in charge of the situation. So it could be Ingoron.
Mm-hmm.
It could be Hanky and Knight. But they're looking for some kind of unity, but things are going to come out with the sun from the past. So the emperor has control.
Mm-hmm.
But I have, so that death of money was the energy I'm supposed to look at. So I have the King of Wands, the Ten of Pentacles, but the money losses.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there's so many cards in here. I have the Five of Pentacles.
It's very confused. It's very confused, and there's going to be all kinds of crap.
Yeah, it's like they might lose Hanky, but then someone else may come in. They try to get another delay to like see if they can get money from somewhere else. And so it's not straightforward, but it feels like they're going to lose this.
Wasn't their connection to Hanky some sort of Russian oligarch anyway?
No, his company or a subsidiary of his company gave him loans when no one else would too.
I know.
So Trump already owes him 150 million in loans or something.
Yeah.
So it's like if this goes through, Hanky would basically own him.
or whoever gave Hanky that money will own him.
So it's going to be confusing yet, but there's a lot of losses here. I have with justice coming down, the security is completely lost with the Five of Pentacles. I mean, he's going to lose the case anyway. It's so ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
It's just delay tactics, and basically someone else is going to own the company. Or he's going to lose all security in the business. But there's a lot of fives in here. Five of Pentacles.
Right, that's change.
5 of Cups.
5 is change.
And a death card, and so it's going to be a mess yet, but I don't think Hanky's going to be involved. We'll definitely know more the 22nd after this another 10-day delay in Ingoron's hearing.
Mm-hmm.
But behind the scenes, that Hanky's trying to make things right with Tish James, get finances corrected, but according to Tish James, they didn't think he had enough equity to do it.
Mm-hmm. Then she go start selling the buildings.
More process.
All that prime real estate under Bedminster that rocks.
Deadminster.
Hmm. I did a
Um,
quick reading on if this eclipse is going to, if the power that's coming with this eclipse is going to hit Trump. And it says, this is a Two of Swords reversed. It means it's going to show great big change. Things that have stood and hung around and been a long-term problem are in the past. What's moving in the present right now is future plans. Things are going to start moving now. They're going to, and the Ace of Pentacles is going to start making things stable. And it's not going to be the way he likes to do it, with one little quick statement and let's blurry it up with quick press. It's not going to happen. So yes, this eclipse is going to start to really show huge cracks. It's been going on.
huge cracks for what?
With Trump,
Trump. Okay.
for his trying to get out of all of the obligations he has here.
Eclipse.
The
I'm gonna
eclipse.
grab my oracle quick on this.
Okay. Because that's going to be my out question. I'm going to read about the eclipse and its effect on us in the garden. So,
Oh, cool. Eclipse on blue. Oh, interesting. So, the first one is open your mind. Our daily actions help us learn, and it's got a universe, the moon and the earth in this card, but it's like teaching by experience. And then I had the hidden secrets of the moon and the energy of it, which is coming with this, right? And then I got your favorite card, Mount Shasta, with the lines and the power and how it affects the universe. So maybe the earthquake actually had something to do with the shift, right? But yeah, it's going to help. That this card talks about star seeds too, and harmony and be connected, and so there's a element. There's an element of healing in this, you know, and changing minds a little bit. Yeah, crazy how that came out.
Very good.
It does help change hearts and minds and heal the universe and heal the ley lines and all that. Okay. Look at that. Enough. Pulled Boebert. You want to look at Ukraine funding? Anything with Ukraine? What deck? Okay. Let's think about, I guess, Ukraine funding. Ukraine's doing, if you follow anything on the Ukraine side of news and not what political pundits say, people are actually over there. They're doing well. They're using a lot of drones. They're getting F-16s to protect their land and whatnot. I found they were using like cell phones to detect drones for sound and missiles. That's working really well. Doing a lot of tricks and little things cheaply that are helping their
desperate moves that you have to make.
They're hitting. Unfortunately, our oil is probably going to go up, and gas.
Oh, that was going to happen anyway, guys. If you want to go look back, and if I can find the graph, I'll get it, of how gas and oil goes up if the Republicans are in charge before the election and they want to push it their way. They control all those commodity prices. It's like eggs and food in the store.
But yeah, but supposedly OPEC's gonna stop producing as much, and plus, what's that?
Of course they are.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Ukraine is using drones, and they're hitting natural gas and oil pretty hard, and they're having success in Russia. So that's gonna, It's going to have an effect on the world supply.
My update on the Ukraine is they're really working on a lot of things to make a lot of stuff work. The evil empress, that's their north neighbor, is not happy. The jealous, money-grubbing person that can be in when she's reversed. Instead, the people are rallying around their own sense of self, which is to be more compassionate. And they so want to walk away from this war. And something's going to happen this summer that's going to make that easier.
God, I hope they end it. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Russia's not winning.
Mm-mm.
Well, I guess some of the criminals, there was a report that some of the criminals they had fighting the war just come back and commit more crimes when if they complete their 6 months.
Well, and what did you expect? Well, you heard Trump's going to empty all of our mental institutions into other countries. Where are those planes going to land? I want to know which country is going to have enough. And they say this, and people sit there going, yeah, like it's normal. Like it's even sane. What's your update? Mine was very good, so don't spoil the waters here, Scott. We're
going to... There's things we don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
There's help being done behind the scenes that we don't know about, so I don't sense that Ukraine is completely out of stuff. There's other people helping behind the scenes that we don't know about.
And we're getting stuff to them through other countries because
like little Estonia supposedly found or got them, someone got them like 1 million more shells or whatever.
I should have read with my Estonian. I actually have an Estonian tarot deck. A friend of mine went to Estonia and brought it to me. Maybe someday I'll read with it.
So yeah,
you can read it.
I think there's deals behind the scenes, like through NATO, other countries that we're not hearing about. Even though we're not giving, because I got some giving and receiving here.
But we're still paying NATO. We're still paying all those places.
Right.
Even though that's what the check says. But how when you get a check and someone signs their name and transfers it over to you, that's what I got a feeling is happening.
And Karen read 800 shells from Chechnya too.
Mm-hmm.
So there are other people helping. Ace of Coins is abundance. 10 of Cups, NATO and family helping.
Mm-hmm.
Justice will happen. And stability with the 4 of Coins. So yeah, eventually it's going to end. I've always seen it ending at some point here, but there's people behind the scenes making it work.
Yeah.
For now until we get this funding passed.
You ever read about what Roosevelt did when we were doing all our America First? We're not going to get involved in another world war when Germany was bombing the Brits. The amount of stuff we got over to Britain. We were sending our warships up to Canada and have them repainted.
Jan likes your Oreos too.
Thank you. I can't take credit for it. I found it on Facebook. So.
You want to do your crystal grid right now?
Yeah.
Get that set up or whatever.
It's set up. It's just not thrown.
Right.
I will get the camera on it so they can see it because me talking about it makes no sense whatsoever.
And then I'll figure out what I'm going to do for this too.
What's your grand finale for today, Scott?
Let's just see yours and figure it out. Do I need to add your grid?
No, I've got it. It's going to show up where I am right now.
Oh,
there it is.
You're putting your own. Okay.
Yeah, I have my 2 cameras, so I should have done this earlier. Were I not so hungry, I would have, but I was hungry, so I had to eat first. Okay. For those of you who don't know what this is my oracle garden. I throw 5 crystals into the garden. Body, one represents body, one represents mind, one represents spirit, one represents grounding, and the other one represents clarity. And I will throw them in. And the question we're going to ask in the garden is, Oh, let's make it really small. How will the eclipse affect the world? That's a tiny one. Ooh, very fundamental ways. Things are in the center. This is the fire, water, air, and earth, and those are the very basic tenets of where we come from. And then all the other things on the outside are actions we can take or chakras and how things should move. So we're going to start with the body, which is in path forward and false. The physical feelings we feel that day will give us a move to the next step. And listen to your body's signals. So whatever you're instinctively feeling tomorrow, don't poo-poo it. Don't write it off. Don't say that's not going on. Those are going to be really important. Our mind is in restate, past, and fire. And that makes sense because eclipses are times when things are brought out of the past and made relevant to us because they block the main light and we get to see it from the shadow. So the mind and fire says, do not be tied to false energies of the past and break away from previous. This is going to be a big breakaway pattern. Break away from patterns of the past. Couldn't say it more clearly. And restate is think how situations can be viewed, think, and rethink. So whatever's coming out to us and is being presented to us, we're going to need to really think about it. Eclipses go back to generational things. Fire is the South. It's our ancestors. It's how our world works. Our clarity in fire. Use ideas you carry from your past that have led you to positive outcomes right now. And our grounding stone is between earth and fire. And earth is where things grow up from, and fire is where things are purified. So for our foundation stone, it's saying clarification comes from dealing with things from your past. Those are the things you're going to see that you may not even be all that familiar with, but they're going to be here. And for earth, it says more will be brought forward in the near future. So everything that's going to happen on this day for the world is not going to be there that day, but it's all, we're going to really sense it's coming. Now, spirit is between crown chakra and future. And spirit and future says, be patient. A lot of the changes that are happening around us are not quite finished yet. And crown chakra, that's a great place for a 10 up. Spirit harmonizes all efforts. So the way I'd put this all together, it's going to be a great day for us to come to terms with some things out of our past to start a foundation moving towards the future. We're not going to get all the answers. It's not like the world's going to crack open and dragons are going to come out and all kinds of stuff's going to happen right then. It's what's cracking and opening up in each one of us. It's going to be really important. That's what this eclipse is about, and that's what it's doing around the world, even if you're not under it, looking up at it. So,
nice. I grabbed the Starseed Oracle.
Good.
Felt like that one to write. First card was Whale. The whale, and the orca, and the elders. Share your song, frequency of sound, and deep dive. Or diving deep. So the eclipse will send energy. It will send sound, resonance, whatever. And then I got weight of the worlds, boundaries, let it go. It's not your burden to carry.
Yep.
There's a lot of water in these three cards. And I get water your garden. Nourishment, body care, tenderness, and rest. So when it feels like maybe this energy in this flow that's coming, let go. Don't let anything in the universe, in the atmosphere, in the news bother you. You need to take care of self. And the whale feels like ancient, and this has happened before. You know, the whale is wise. The whale is brilliant, but it's been around for a long, long time. So just don't take it all in. You know, that way of the world is this lady's here in some water, just relaxing and taking it in and nourishing self.
Hmm.
So that's about all I feel there with this card.
I like the whales because they're like vibrations. They're like the frequencies we get tied up in. And in the understanding of the ley lines, the whales are what keep the ley lines together under the ocean. That's one of their jobs, is to keep those energy lines straight when there's breaks. And if all that sounds like absolute Greek to you and you're going, what the hell are they talking about? Come over to my channel. We talk about ley lines and that kind of energy. I'll be out petitioning the eclipse. That's good.
Petitioning. Okay, 1:30. Everyone enjoy that.
Kid on Christmas Eve, guys. This is so much fun. I haven't had this much fun in a long time.
Enjoy your solar eclipse day tomorrow.
Yeah, sitting on my
phone. Don't look at it.
Oh, I've got all the stuff I showed you.
Just take in the energy.
Mm-hmm.
You do have your glasses, look at it, just embrace the energy.
Mm-hmm.
And make sure you let go of it all.
Right.
What happens, what happens in the news, what happens with 45, we have no control. Put out that energy of, we want justice, the fair thing to happen.
Yeah.
And it'll happen at some point.
Yeah, don't let their negativity control you.
We all know 45 is going to be going away one way or another. He will lose.
Mm-hmm.
When he's going to dry up, he's going to keep challenging all he can, throwing out spaghetti at the walls and all that. I believe Jack Smith will not let these Republicans that were involved get away with it. It'll happen at some point. Probably after the election.
We let them get elected, then they can have another special election to fill all those seats.
There you go.
We're close. Remember, we kept saying we'd be in a Democratic House by the end of the summer, and we're close.
It'll all work out the way it's supposed to, and justice is coming.
Mm-hmm.
Blessings all.
Okay.
Enjoy your day.
Have a good time. Enjoy the week. Bye.
I'm turning blurry.